And now, school teachers in Zimbabwe are expected to resume duty today after the government offered civil servants a 10% salary increment and added other benefits. 6 teachers' unions had threatened to go on strike, a move that would have disrupted the start of the second term of school session in the country. Their new deal now includes leave days and an increment in transport and housing allowance.
I'd like to add, Jerry, that this social protest is not limited to teachers in the country. A few weeks ago, the government faced another strike movement, this time led by thousands of nurses who had unfavorable salary conditions and lack of equipment at their disposal. The paralysis of the health system and the blockade of negotiations had led the government, in person of the Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, ordered the dismissal of 15,000 nurses from the public sector.
Sifiso Ndlovu is the CEO of the Zimbabwe Teachers Association, ZIMTA. He joins us now, and we spoke to him earlier, about the nature of the deal between teachers and the government.
Government has promised to increase the salaries of educators by 10% beginning 1 July 2018. Meaning that overall the salaries for housing, transport and the basic salary will be raised by 10%. That is still work in progress. So we want to give that work in progress an opportunity as people convene next Monday to finalize the final percentage that will be awarded. And there has also been an opportunity for educators grouping to meet with the employer ministry and the employer minister, and also have an opportunity to meet His Excellency in order to get the maximum value from the negotiation process. In that way, therefore, we are motivated to step down the industrial action. So we'll be appealing to our educators, most of whom may not have turned up for duty today, but eventually will report for duty.
So does this surely mean that teachers are now reporting to duty or will have to report to duty? Effectively,
that is what it means in terms of the legal position. But in terms of the time lag between the announcement and the response rate of the educators, we may find pockets here and there of poor work starting. But that is only a question of procedure and process. Otherwise, effectively, the strike has been stepped down.
But are you satisfied with the government's offer, the increment that has been given so far, or promised?
We are not happy. We are happy with the engagement and the intensity with which they are now emphasizing. Because as far as we are concerned, we were worried about the laissez-faire type of approach that they've done on our leave issue and many other conditions of services. But now there is agency, and that agency of now has given us an opportunity to say, yes, there is hope. And the fact that we have been even promised to meet the highest office of the land, that is an indication of the seriousness in which they want to address the issues.
But one would think that you will be satisfied with this measure, but yesterday you met with the Minister of Education, and now we have heard that you still have plans to meet with President Emerson Mnangagwa.
Yes, the Minister of Education, as you may know, is a sector ministry. It's a service ministry to the Employee Ministry of Public Service. And because of that, we needed to meet with him and give him and put him up to speed in terms of what we meant by sector-specific conditions of service, which were now militating against the harmony in the schools. And he was able to understand. We took quite some long time discussing with him. It was him and his permanent secretary and principal directors who were present, and he was assuring us that he's fighting from our corner and is going to actually put more effort in trying to get a better bid for the educators. That was the brief that we had with him. And eventually he had gone also to go and seek the authority of the highest land to try and meet the educators, knowing pretty well that once that is given by the highest office of the land, then we'll have cemented some good deal with the office of the President and Cabinet, and that will mean there will be really a definite promise on improvement on various other issues which were not put to discussion yesterday, but which will continuously be put into discussion as we go forward. So there will be a number of issues, quite a repertoire of issues will be given to His Excellency.
Sifiso Ndlovu, CEO of the Zimbabwe Teachers Association, ZIMTA, speaking to us earlier there on the suspended strike of school teachers in Zimbabwe. This is the Morning Call right here on Africanews. Don't forget you can watch this broadcast in English or in French if you are on the Canal Sat network. Use the blue button on your remote control to change the settings. And we urge you to also share your stories with us. Tweet at us at Africanews in English and at Africanews FR in French. Still ahead on the program. On the southwest shore of Lake Kivu in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, lies a town called Bukavu, where a flourishing startup is specializing in what is called Kwanzaa technology. We'll tell you more about this and plus more from the world of sports and business when we return after the break. Stay with us.